So United States tourism is plummeting in the billions. Billions of dollars, that is. And you know how folks often tell international communities how much they need our tourism dollars? A lot of Americans forget that their own cities thrive off of tourism. In 2023 alone, the United States travel and tourism market contributed to $2.36 trillion. And the cities and states that rely heavily on hotel taxes, sales taxes, and other tourism-related fees, less tourism for you means less funding in education, transit, and infrastructure in your city or state.
Travel is down into the United States from around the world. It feels like there's been reputational damage.
The country's doing great. Well, prices are down,
not the tourism.
Gasoline's down, energy's down, tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
Not now.
Now Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well.
Somebody in the comments said Trump wasn't happy just bankrupting his own casinos. Just wild. Just wild.
Because last month, visits to the U.S. from overseas fell 11.6%. And in Las Vegas alone, the international tourism decline is expected to mean an $18 million drop in room revenue. $18 million, which I believe is 2 mini-fridge Toblerones. And because this, people from overseas are frightened to come here, okay? To say goodbye to some of our biggest international party people, because we're seeing our biggest drop in Australian visitors since COVID. Do you know how bad things have to be to scare off Australians?
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing alright and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting. Thank you for the super chats and super thanks, and I do appreciate my members for supporting exclusively as well through the member packs. And definitely we have another interesting episode to look at today. Every day it looks like Trump F's America so bad to a point of it's gonna be so difficult to revamp and bring back everything. It looks like it's not just the stocks that are plummeting right now. It's not just those things that we've been talking about, you know, the shipments and the ports, you know, being empty. Tourism, which is a very good contributor to most of the states in the US, right? Yes, it is plummeting as well, and tourists are not coming anymore. It has decreased. And it's so crazy because some of the states that used to be filled with quite a lot of tourists, now they are empty, to an extent that now there are governors in different states that are begging and are calling, people to come and visit their states, and people from different countries, especially Canada and more other neighboring countries, they're saying, hell nah, the way you treat tourists as if we are criminals, we ain't coming to your country. But guys, we have to look at these videos and the reactions of people. We'll come back and talk about it. Do not forget to subscribe if you're landing on here for your very first time. I would like to know what you think about this very video as well. Let's watch this, come back and talk about it.
So many people told me, go to the strip, it's packed. Nah, you probably went on a weekday. It's still poppin', just not where you are. But this was all taken on Saturday. You can see the daytime footage, the nighttime footage. Where is everybody? Where are the crowds? There was no lines. I mean, it was really convenient for us. I'm not complaining. It was just really different to see. People in the comments say the magic is gone. Said the prices are going up and the people are out. Said Vegas is changing. I don't really know, but I know it's not the same anymore.
Okay guys, all these extra fees and the overpriced food and Vegas nickel and diming everyone finally might be hurting Vegas. So, listen to this. New tourism numbers paint a very dark picture. So it might be time for Sin City to take a hard look in the mirror. I'm reading a late March report from Harry Reid International Airport, the airport here in Vegas, shows that the main hub tourists travel through showed international visitors dropped a staggering 19.6% from January to February. Domestic travelers were down 6.9% during the same time span, and a total of 4 million passengers came to the airport in February, according to the same report. That's a 7.5% decline from February of last year. The horrible numbers don't stop there. Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority reported that visitors were down almost 12% from the same time a year ago in February of 24. So the bottom line is Vegas' greed is catching up to them. Bottom line. You know, get rid of resort fees, get rid of these overpriced restaurants, get rid of charging for parking, because you can go anywhere now. Vegas used to be a cheap place, nice place to vacation, and now you can, why not just go to Cancun and stay at an all-inclusive resort? Why come here? You know what I mean? So, what do you guys think about that?
But foreign tourists are increasingly setting their sights elsewhere. Let's take a look at international tourism by the numbers. Following tariff announcements against our neighbor to the north, flight reservations from Canada to the U.S. are down 70% through September compared to last year. That's according to OAG Aviation Worldwide. Plus, U.S. summer bookings by European tourists have fallen by 25%.
Gee, I wonder why. I feel like pretty much we're like that one crazy neighbor on the street, and then everyone else on that street does not like us. Yeah, that's the orange guy in the office. It's like, you know, when you jokingly threaten to take over other countries, such as Canada and Greenland, and then also the Panama Canal, people are not going to take it lightly. Also, when you decide to try to tariff everyone, people are not going to be happy about that. And with tourism pretty much taking a hit in this country, the entire hospitality industry is going to feel it. Along with the potential of that 245% tariff on China, that hospitality industry is going to take a hit, because I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff that they use in the hotels and in the casinos and like pretty much anywhere, a lot of it probably comes from China. So those independently owned hotels, restaurants, and anything else that involves tourism are probably going to suffer the most. And in the large corporations, the employees are probably going to be the ones that feel it, because they'd probably get laid off, while the executives at those huge chains will probably still get their bonuses. And unemployment will probably go up because of this as well. You see how everything kind of causes a ripple effect? But comment and let me know what you think about this, and my name is Philip, and if you like what I post, please consider giving me a follow, like, share, and repost. Thank you.
So United States tourism is plummeting in the billions. Billions of dollars, that is.
I love this for the U.S. If you are one of the Canadians who wisely canceled their trip to Disneyland this year, might I make a suggestion? And I know that everybody has suggested, oh, explore Canada, explore Canada. How do you do that? Do you drive in your own car? Do you fly to a destination? I have a different suggestion. Take a train. Go explore Canada. Pick a destination and take a train ride there. You will be able to see and experience Canada in a way that's different and fun. Anyways, that's just my thought. This summer, take some time out and explore Canada, but do it in ways that are new and unique, like a train.
Y'all been seeing all the videos on TikTok and Instagram from people visiting Vegas and saying like it's a ghost town and shit? They not lying. It's a ghost town. It is not what we are used to at this point in time in the season. So anybody out here who's saying that shit is not being affected, use a lie. Shit is being affected, okay? It's slow as fuck out here. Slow as fuck. Dead ass.
Work out very easily.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
No, we treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this. And there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it, yeah.
Really? we in the United States treat our tourists well under Donald Trump? Is that why multiple Europeans in the past couple of months who visited from Great Britain or Germany and other countries have been detained, arrested while vacationing here? Is that really Donald Trump's definition of treating tourists well? Really? Tourism from European countries to the United States, which makes our country a lot of money, has plummeted because of Donald Trump and his immigration policies. He has to own that. And his whole, oh, it's no problem at all, we're the tourism capital of the world, is just a lie. It is a problem. It is hurting companies. It is hurting the United States. As a reminder, I post on YouTube, Instagram, Substack, and more. The link is in my bio. It'd mean a lot if you check it out.
Why is Vegas so empty right now? Let's talk about the fact that nobody is vacationing in Vegas right now. Mind you, when I go to Vegas, it's always crowded. It's always packed. The strip is crazy. There are videos around right now showing Vegas empty. Now, due to all the things that's been going on with the planes, I said I'm not going to Vegas this year. I usually go to Vegas every April. But I didn't think that Vegas would be looking like it looks right now. Matter of fact, look at this shit.
All right, we're in Vegas. This is supposed to be the city that never sleeps. But there's like literally no one around here at all.
It's empty.
And on all of our walks pretty much tonight, we've seen nobody. So, I don't know. Is Vegas slowly dying out?
Now, there could be for a number of reasons why Vegas look like this. But I want to know why you think Vegas is dying, because usually at this time, Vegas is jam-packed. People are partying. People are gambling. Things are going on out there. Like I said again, I go to Vegas at least twice a year. What's going on in Vegas that people aren't going to Vegas?
Trump is tanking US tourism, absolutely tanking it. There was a report out at the end of February saying, and this was from Tourism Economics, saying that instead of growing by 8.8%, tourism in the US was projected to decline by 5.1%. But that was in February, right? So much has happened since in terms of stories of tourists being maltreated that really is going to change the dynamics, I'm sure of it. I've got some stories here that I've written down about one French scientist, 3 Germans, a Canadian and a Brit, that I just want to take you through so that you understand what is happening here, because these are stories that are now going wild through the Western press, right? So first of all, the French scientist, this is probably the most recent story. He was denied entry to the US because he got there. They decided to search his phone and search his laptop. They found him having communicated sympathy with US scientists in terms of how Donald Trump has been treating the US science community, and decided that this was comparable to terrorism. And so he got turned around and sent back, okay? And French government has been complaining about that. But he got off, luckily, to just be accused of terrorism and denied entry. Because, let's now talk about the 3 Germans, all of whom have been detained by ICE. So firstly, there's Jessica, the tattoo artist, and that was a big story everywhere because she was kept for what? Over a month or something, including solitary detention, absolutely moved from place to place. Her friends and family utterly terrified before she finally got released. For what? For taking some tattoo kit through border. She was treated like that. Then there's the next German, Lucas, a fiance of an American, and he was detained by ICE for 2 weeks. Then we have Fabian, the electrical engineer, a green card holder who was violently interrogated, stripped naked, pushed into a cold shower, and again, he was detained, I think, for a couple of weeks or something like that. Let's now move on to the Canadian. Her name is Jasmine. She actually wrote a piece in the British press describing her shocking treatment. She was held for 12 days. She didn't know why she was arrested. She was always told that they didn't know how long she was going to be kept. She was thrown in a cold cell with lots of other people, and they didn't have the lights on for 2 days. None of them knew what to do. It was a freezing room, and essentially she only got released when she got released. Imagine how terrifying that is. And then there's the story of the Brit. Her name was Rebecca. She had 3 weeks of horrendous treatment also, and she's now back home in Wales. But she said she was treated as if she were Hannibal Lecter. She was chained by the wrists, around the waist, and in the ankles. She couldn't walk without the help of an ICE officer. What the crap is this? Because it's been reported now that Germany is monitoring this situation very closely because of this incident with their 3 citizens. They want to see what it means for others. And of course, the French government has already responded about their scientists. And in fact, the French government are already saying, American scientists, we know what you're going through. You're welcome to come and work here. Okay? But think what this means, not just for American tourism, but American businesses, because so much of the international travel is business meetings as well. Think about any American or global organization that would want to host an international meeting. You wouldn't host it in the States for fear of some of your visitors being abused on entry, not just turned back, abused on entry and accused of being terrorists and so forth. That is terrifying. And so that is going to tank not only the US tourism industry, but so many other industries that operate internationally and want to have international business traffic to do their business, to have visitors or to host events. It's going to blow it all. And a third of the inbound traffic to America is Western Europe. A third is Western Europe. Not all of Europe, just Western Europe. Eastern Europeans will be feeling the same, looking at this dynamic. And then what do you think Canadians are going to feel, and other Commonwealth countries? And all of these countries are predominantly white. So what do you think Middle Eastern potential tourists would think about going to the States at the moment, or those in Latin America, seeing how their Latino colleagues have also been treated by Donald Trump, let alone Africa or let alone Asia, right? So, but on top of this, if this is how Donald Trump treats his allies or ex-allies, he is also lining up another travel ban of 43 countries, which are those that are not America's, I will now say, ex-allies. So where's the tourism going to come from? Where's the business traffic going to come from? Trump is absolutely isolating America. Now, I wouldn't want to go to America at this stage. Absolutely not. I feel 10 times safer going to Ukraine, which is what I did last week, than going to America. I would not go there now for fear of my phone being searched. And it's questionable whether they can search your phone. Apparently, they can't demand your password, but they could absolutely abuse you if you didn't hand it over. But would I go to America with this phone here? Is this that I'm recording to you now, would that be considered anti-Trump propaganda and therefore terrorism, which would bang me up? Listen, I spent 2 years growing up in America. I went to school on those little yellow buses. Yes, I did. But I would not go there now. And there will be many, many people right around the world that will think similarly. So I have never seen a country fall so fast in terms of its support from the rest of the world, in terms of its attractiveness to talent and to business and to engagement with the rest of the world. Never seen it like this. America at the moment is in free fall. It is absolutely plummeting. And I feel deeply for all of those good Americans there that don't know what to do right now. But we'll get through this. We'll find a way, but there needs to be pressure on the inside as well as the rest of the world applying pressure from the outside. But you can kiss America's tourism industry goodbye, at least while Donald Trump is in power, but then a lot of habits are going to be wired deep by all of this.
Why is Vegas going out of business? I'm going to detail this a little bit, only as an example of what not to do. And it's a very, very easy deal. It has to do with debt. And if you have debt, you're almost 95% going to fail. And I started a computer company that recycled computers, sold them retail, sold them to college kids, got them from corporate America. That company was called Action Computers. And I sold it in 2019. But from 1994 till 2019, that little business outlasted all of the majors. RadioShack.com, CompUSA, Circuit City, Electech. I mean, hundreds of tech companies went under, and my little company was still thriving. And it's also still in business. It was sold 5 years ago, and the guys are still running it, and it's still a profitable entity. And you want to know the reason why? It was successful under my leadership. We never borrowed any money, ever, for anything. We never borrowed any money for everything. We started off small. We had crappy little office chairs in the beginning. Everything that we had was used. And if we needed to buy a truck, we paid cash for it. If we needed to buy a warehouse, we paid cash for it. We saved up our money. And when times were lean, I mean, we had no problem. And that leads me to a huge example of something that's failing because of debt. And that is Las Vegas. And none of the casinos own their buildings. They sold them off to landlords. And they took that money to expand or do whatever. But now they've got huge rents. And so they've come to the situation where they have to charge $45 for a ham sandwich, and the minimum bet to gamble on a table in Caesars is $25 a hand if you're lucky. Everything is horribly expensive, and they're hemorrhaging money, but you can't raise the price anymore. People are staying away from Las Vegas in droves. They're losing money like it's going out of style. These resort fees, I mean, they are ruining something that was wonderful. I mean, they're killing the golden goose because they're borrowing money, and they sold their real estate assets. And those people are making, $2-3 billion in rents. And the people that are running the casinos are having to raise the prices. They can't keep up with it. You're going to see a massive, massive failure. And I don't go back there. And I used to love going. We used to go 3 and 4 times a year, and we get a comped room and all this other stuff. But they've ruined it. They absolutely have ruined it. And there's a lot of other companies that you're going to see go under, these automotive companies that, just absolutely raped and pillaged during COVID, selling cars for $10,000, $15,000 over sticker. And, the public has responded to the $90,000 pickup truck with, screw you guys, we don't need it. And you're going to see some massive collapses in the automotive industry. Maybe these tariffs are going to help a little bit, the American car companies, and bail them out a little bit. But if you're doing something with a small business or your small family or whatever, the first thing that you can do is pound down your debt. Then from there, you make little investments in your business or your investment accounts or whatever, but you can't make 29% on your money. You can't do it. There's no stock that you can buy that consistently does that. There's very few businesses that you can run that, you can overcome that. But you put some on a credit card and don't pay it off, they get 29%. So unless you're the credit card company, don't use credit cards unless you're going to pay them off every month. And the first month you don't pay them off, cut them up. You're not old enough to have a credit card. And, it's hard. Everybody works on budgeting and that kind of stuff. But if you have any debt of any kind, the hobo on the street is richer than you because he doesn't have any debt. So he's at zero. You're at negative, whatever it is, 10,000. So the hobo on the street, if he gets a shower, gets cleaned up, get a job, he's ahead of you. Think about it. And sit down as a family and say, hey, we need to get ready to, build our wealth. And I exclude the family home in that, but, get a 15-year mortgage if you can. If you can't, get a 30-day mortgage or 30-year mortgage and try to start off small and then leg up. Charlie Munger said he was passionate about getting rich, but not because he wanted a Ferrari. He wanted his independence. And when you don't owe anybody any money and you've got a little cash in the bank as a buffer for a rainy day, you're doing well. And in this turbulent times that we're in, there's a way to win, and people are finding that. So anyway, that is my advice. Like I said, I never tell anybody what to do. I only tell them what I did and how it worked out for me. And I am anti-debt, except for your personal home. And that includes rental real estate. I don't borrow money for rental assets. I form partnerships if I need to, but we're all cash. And that's happening right now, where investors, even if they're at 3% on their loan, they're cash flowing $200 a month, and the renter's paying off the mortgage, blah, blah, blah. And then taxes double, insurance doubles. All of a sudden, instead of cash flowing $200, they're having to pay $200 or $300 a month forever. They can't get out of it. And a lot of these investors are going to be dumping these houses. And people that listen to me are going to be buying those houses. They're going to be buying those houses for cash. And, people say I'm crazy when I say buy houses for cash. If you get 10 of your best friends together and everybody puts in 10 grand, there's a $100,000 house. It's not as sexy, but it's bulletproof. So if nobody told you that they love you, I love you.
Do not travel to America. Do not travel to America for the next 4 years. Especially as a black or brown person. You do not want to get caught up in Trump's deportations. I'm sure by now you've heard of the German and UK tourists who were arrested by ICE and detained for days. Allegedly, the German tourists were chained. You do not want that to be your story, especially if you are taking your family on holiday with you. We already know that Trump has a checkered history with racism, and he's managed to infect a large proportion of that country. Do not spend your hard-earned money on a country that does not appreciate you as a black or brown person. For the next 4 years, the world is your oyster. Maldives, Thailand, Bali, Hong Kong, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica. These are all amazing places. Let's not go to a country that's increasingly becoming lawless. A country where the president has no respect for the rule of law. A country where the president ignores federal judges. My family and I go to Florida every single year. We love Disney, we love Universal. But for the next 4 years, we're going to be going anywhere but. And I think that you should all do the same. Do not travel to America. Pass it on.
More travel warnings issued. What that means, it is going to kill tourism. Tourism trickles through to a state's entire economy. We are now the most hated country in the world. Were you planning on traveling and you canceled your travel? Drop a comment and follow for all things personal finance.
I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section, because if this country is going to literally fall pillar by pillar, like, right? Yeah, lots of people in the US, of course, go and travel and go to other countries, but so are other countries and other people from different, sides of the world wanting to come and visit. A lot of people that wanted to come to Disneyland and all of these interesting things. You have seen Las Vegas, California, Florida, and many more other states. I want you to let me know where you're watching this from, and is your state a tourist state, and how is it going for you, right? Yeah, a lot of people are forgetting that some of these states were thriving off the money that comes from tourists. If US was that much self-sufficient and self-independent and it didn't need to depend on anything else, well, now things are telling differently. Yeah, things look to be taking a very different turn. But it's all because of one man that decided to treat other people as if they are not humans, just to get what out of this? Because this is not prioritizing Americans, if we are to be honest. Did you hear the way he talks? Is like, some people, tourism, I don't even know how to put it, I can't lie. By him sitting in the camera, and you are a president of a whole great nation, and you speak these things that don't make any sense. And people listen to you. And people trust you. People trusted you. Like, is this really serious? I think at the same time, I appreciate what is happening in the US, especially tourism-wise. I think it is high time people get to understand how Black people get treated when they are going through those airports. They are treated like criminals. A lot of them are searched because by just being Black, all of a sudden you look suspicious and you might have drugs on you. That's what happens. This is not a story that Black people are not used to. Like, yeah, I think it is high time the world knows how Black people get treated. And especially if you're African, and you're coming from the continent. Yeah, I think it's high time the rest of the world gets to see how Black people get treated. But it's also high time to see that this man really don't care about anything. He's a bully. Like, he's an international bully. He's a professional one. Right? If medals would be given for who is the biggest bully, he would be number one. He doesn't even need to compete, right? Because tell me why you would treat tourists that are bringing money to your country, to your economy. They are not taking advantage of your resources or anything. Rather, they are paying to be in your country, right? And this is how you treat them. A lot of people are dying in ICE custodies. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense. But for the people that voted for him, I think this is time for you to faffle. Like, you F8 and now you are FOing. Like, cause is it FA? Yeah, FAFO. Yes. F around and find out, right? Yes. I think it is time. Because a lot of these states have been depending on this, and now that tourism money is not coming anymore, and now even the trade sucks, people are going out of businesses. Now that he's waging war on truck drivers, he's waging war on federal workers, he's waging war on veterans, he's waging war not just within the US, right? He's waging war against everybody. Like, really, everybody is his enemy. What is wrong with him? Like, what's going on? I can only imagine the state and situation of the people in the US and how they're going to be treated, because it looks like he's trying to isolate them. And people are going to hate the people in the US over nothing. Meanwhile, this same man, he's not just treating, tourists like that, using his immigration, whatever policies, right? They have literally agreed and signed, I think, is it an executive order to literally deport US citizens. If you do not have, okay, we would say, okay, give visitors a bit of respect, but he doesn't have that, right? So I can only imagine if you cannot give visitors respect, and now you're bringing this like you want to deport the US citizens. I can only imagine, who do you respect? Who do you respect? If people thought he's gonna make the economy better by literally breaking each and every other backbone, I don't understand. Now, I do get it that sometimes some people come to the US and they don't want to leave, but really? Like, literally? And it looks like people are choosing to have more other options. They're like, you know what? Let me go where my money is appreciated. Let me go where I am appreciated as an individual, right? And it's cool. I feel like that's what US needs, to wake up. But the thing is the US willing to wake up, especially if it is under this man that, there's a scripture that a blind person, like, you cannot be led by a blind person, right? Two blind people cannot be leading each other. One has to be awakened. But the thing is, the leader is blind. I mean, the things he's doing clearly says that. But anywho, FAFO, recession is, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think from me for today, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it. Yes, I think I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Christian. I love all of you. Bye.